Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today we are going to be looking at objectives. It's a new chapter now. So what are objectives? What are the levels of objectives and what's the importance of objectives? So the basic definition of objective is an objective is a specific target that should have a time period in which it can be achieved. They should follow the SMART criteria. Now what is the SMART criteria means is basically the objective should be specific. It should be specific to the business. It should be measurable. It should be something that cannot be measured, something like measurable, like to increase your market share by so and so percentage, something that you can measure against your target. It should be achievable. Shouldn't be something like that's a little too much for the staff, and that the employees end up overworking themselves, and that might end up decreasing their motivation. So it should be something that is achievable within the business strength. It should also be relevant to the business. It shouldn't be something irrelevant that the business shouldn't need, the business doesn't require. And it should be time specific. It should be take place within the specific time period. You have to specify a time period in which you can achieve your objective, so that you can be more focused towards achieving your objective, towards working for that objective. Now, objectives are very important to a business because they help the business give a direction. We're going to be talking about more about the importance of it later. Now let's talk about the levels of objective. What are the different levels of objectives? Now, at the topmost level, there's the corporate objectives. Objectives that reflect over the whole organization, the main target of the whole business. That's what corporate objectives are. Let's say if your business, you want to survive a certain pandemic. For example, this COVID situation that's been running around right now. So that's the main objective of the whole business, the organization, that has to survive for until that the pandemic is over. So for survival, you have to decrease your profits and increase your sales and stuff like that. So you just have to at least break even, reach that level of output that where your at least at the very minimum your cost can be recovered. Then there's departmental objectives of each individual department, like marketing, operations, human resource management, etc., which helps a business reach its corporate objectives. Now, of course, the main objective was survival, but then how will you reach survival? How will you survive this pandemic? Then marketing will try to increase their marketing, make some promotions or sales that you reduce your prices. Human resource management, they try to remove some unnecessary employees that are not required. They make employees redundant. Then operation, they try to use the best efficient methods available, and all these, they are departmental objectives. And then individual objectives assigned to each individual to achieve the departmental objectives. Now, how many people are in human resources management? 10 people. They have some are required to do some other task, and whatever their objectives, like stuff that helps them to individual objectives are stuff that helps them to achieve the departmental objective, and departmental objectives are stuff that helps them to achieve the corporate objective. So that's the whole hierarchy of objectives. Now let's talk about the most important stuff right now, the importance of objectives. What is the importance of objectives to a business? First of all, it's a planning tool. Objectives help a business identify why the business exists in the first place. It allows a business to formulate strategies and make decisions to achieve these objectives. Resources can therefore be allocated accordingly. So you have to first, it is generally used to plan ahead. You don't know, you need to give your business some direction. You need to know where you are going, why you are exist in the first place, what you want to achieve. So if you don't have an objective, won't be able to work accordingly. If you have an objective, you know, okay, I have to achieve so and so sales within this specific time period, so I have to work hard. There's some motivation, there's some commitment to the work, and if you have your objective, you can formulate strategies as well. Okay, I have to increase my market share by 20% in the next 1 year. How will I do that? And then if you have an objective, that's how you formulate strategies. Okay, I can increase my promotion, I can decrease my cost and stuff like that. Now, objectives are also important for the smooth coordination between departments. Objectives, as I discussed, the corporate objectives, all departmental objectives are made in such a way that they are used to achieve the overall corporate objectives. So objectives allow a business to be focused on a specific target, so all departments work together to achieve the corporate objectives, which avoids conflicts between departments. It also keeps employees motivated by giving them a sense of direction. Employees should know where they are going. There should be smooth coordination between departments, because if you want to increase your market share by 20%, it's not just the marketing department that has to do work. The finance department should also know that, okay, how much of how much can we reduce the prices. Operations department needs to know how much efficient they can make their production system, so that they can reduce their costs. And human resource department needs to know how much promotion do they need, how much human resource do they need to for the promotion to occur, how much work will they need, what type of skills do they need. And they all departments should be coordinated. When they have done one common goal, that's how coordination occurs. Then it is also used for performance appraisal. Performance appraisal means checking your performance against preset targets. It could be like intra-firm comparison, by comparing the actual performance of the business with the targeted performance, and it could also be inter-firm comparison. Inter-firm comparison is generally like, there are two types of comparison, as I said. Intra-firm is comparing the actual performance of the business with the targeted performance. Then there's inter-firm comparison, that is used to compare the performance of your business with competing businesses. Now, of course, in this situation, we are talking about intra-firm comparison, not inter-firm comparison. So, when you have your target, you have an objective, you set up your target, and then after 1 year, with whatever the time period is over, you see if you have reached the objective or not, to calculate performance. And it can also show those people, the employees who have worked hard, or those who haven't worked hard. So those employees who are overachieved, and therefore employees should be rewarded for their hard work, so they can continue working hard with motivation. It can also be used to see employees who have underachieved, who haven't achieved their targets, so that they can be given warnings or made redundant. It can either show the business that underachieved, as I said earlier. So you need to give training to those particular employees that, okay, your performance was not good enough, you need to be trained, and that's how it all works. So that's what objectives are, the levels of objectives, and the importance of objectives. In books you might see some other points, but these are the three main points that you can use for an 8-mark answer or even a 12-mark answer. This should be good enough with the explanation provided. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.